All right, Math 8. This is part 2 of section 1. This is evaluating the expressions. This is where we're going to actually solve. Okay? So again, I've told you in the past, feel free to use a calculator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually expand this. So the quantity -3 cubed is -3 times the quantity -3 times the quantity -3. And then -3 times -3 is 9. Times -3, which is -27. Now, on number 2, you would think these are the exact same problem, and they really aren't the same problem, but they do have the same answer, and I'll explain that to you. Here we have the negative of 3 cubed, which means the negative, and this is going to be a hard part to understand, is not being cubed. Okay, the base is 3, so this is essentially -1 times 3 cubed. So when we expand this, it's going to look like this. The negative of 3 cubed. Now ultimately the answer is the same, but for different reasons. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. And so we get -27. Again, the same answers, but for different reasons. So they're not really the same problem. This right here, identical. Okay, again, many kids have trouble understanding when the negative is inside the parentheses, it's raised, whereas if there's no parentheses, it's not raised. So on this one, we're going to go with the negative of 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And if you took the time and maybe had studied and memorized some of the powers that we'd have, 5 to the 4th, that's one of those ones a lot of kids do actually know, is 625. And so the answer is -625. And I made this positive on purpose because I wanted to point out that the numerator and the denominator are being squared here. So when we expand this, it's going to look like this. And so now it's 1 times 1 is 1. And then 6 times 6 is 36. And at this point, I'm going to grab a different pen just to explain, if these parentheses weren't here, if we would have wrote this, well then technically what we're saying is it's 1 times 1 over 6. And then the answer to this is 1 over 6. So parentheses are a very powerful tool in math. So pay attention to when there are parentheses and when there are not parentheses, okay?